Hey everyone, the first inaugural video of the MSports Hub. I'm going to be doing a few minutes on the college football picks. Wednesday, I'm going to do the feature games only once I get out of this. Yep, once I get out of this. There, that's better. There's actually a game Wednesday, but let's actually go with Thursday. Actually, UCLA and Stanford, Wilton Spate squad. That's going to be a really good game, and Chip Kelly's the head coach there, and yeah, they actually came back from 21 down in a late West Coast game to beat Washington State and pretty much end their Pac-12 first place hopes to at least be a representative in their conference championship game. But yeah, they're for real, and Stanford under head coach David Shaw, their squad's really not performing like they want to. So yeah, I don't really know who's gonna win this one, but actually I'm looking forward to watching it. And Stanford's favorite since they're at home, so we'll probably take that one and probably take them in this one. Syracuse and Pitt, 6 o'clock on ESPN on Friday the 18th. That's actually decent too. But I think Syracuse will win because they're tough at home. But actually, Pitt, don't keep an eye on Pitt because they almost beat Penn State a few weeks ago in one of their last rivalry games in history. Next, Ohio State and Northwestern. I think this will be a really good game. Pat Fitzgerald's squad, they're really down this year, and 27.5 favorites. Wow, that spread is really high. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to take Justin Fields and the Buckeyes to pull that one out. But how awesome will it be to start a weekend where Ohio State loses? As a Michigan fan, that would feel so good. I can't even tell you how good that would feel. And if they did that Friday, that would be a great start to the weekend. As I'm at a high school game in my local school here in Wisconsin that night. So if I hear that after that game, that would be stellar. So yeah, now we have Purdue and Iowa. Iowa actually barely lost last week. I think they easily should have beat Penn State. I mean, yeah, Nate Stanley, I think Nate Stanley's turning into one of the overrated quarterbacks. He hasn't been doing much, and yeah, Sean Clifford must have not been playing well. It's not Stanley that's overrated necessarily. I'm gonna fix up how I say that, but yeah, he had 235 passing yards, and they still couldn't win the game. They still lost 13-6. I don't know how the heck they did, but they did anyway. I mean, it looked very defensive, and I watched most of the LSU game, the LSU Florida game Saturday night, but I cannot believe they didn't win at Kinnick Stadium. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I can't believe it. And yeah, I hope Michigan's ready for Penn State. We'll get into that game later because it's one of the biggest games of the week. But yeah, if Stanley really improves this game, then I think they'll beat Purdue by quite a bit because Purdue's very down this year. Actually, at 17, it's a 17-point favor. So we'll take Iowa. We'll take them to really improve after the tough Penn State loss they had. Like I said, feature games only. So this will be the big noon kickoff game of the week. So West Virginia is not very good. So I don't see this being a very good big noon game. So Oklahoma will definitely beat them by a ton. We'll still take West Virginia to cover the spread. University of Miami will play Georgia Tech. Actually, I think this will be decent, but Miami will still win just because they have gotten big wins at home lately, and they shocked Virginia, on Friday. I can't believe they beat them. 11 a.m. on Saturday, the Badgers will play Illinois, which Michigan played last weekend, and and their defense really came to its potential. So their defense was impressive, and if Wisconsin's defense is impressive, they'll beat Illinois by lots then. So Florida, South Carolina, I think is going to be interesting. Florida's still under their third-string quarterback. If they stayed in that game and they got that last-minute touchdown, I would have only had 3 wrong in the CBS Sports Pool I'm in. I just joined the CBS Sports Pool where you pick games based on the spread, not necessarily by the 50-50 where you pick the team to win and lose, but I would have only gotten 3 wrong that whole weekend if Florida scored 1 touchdown when they were at the 5 and they still didn't score. But yeah, what a heck of a game between them and LSU going back to that game. I see them beating South Carolina, and there's actually no spread to that one yet. So I think that one's going to be neck and neck. So I might have to tune in for a few minutes for that game. Kent State and Ohio, we won't get into that one. That's mid-major schools. Clemson and Louisville. That's at 11 a.m. on ABC on the 19th. We'll definitely go with Clemson, most definitely. I mean, Louisville doesn't have Lamar Jackson. I don't pay attention to them much anymore because they don't. My parents both graduated from Central Michigan, so we'll definitely take them. That's why I mentioned them, because mentioned Central because they graduated from there. So I'm a Central fan too. So we'll take them to beat Bowling Green, and I think that'll be a good game because that's a conference matchup in the MAC. So I think they'll get a big win on the road there to keep their bowl hopes alive. TCU and Kansas State. This is actually a really good matchup. TCU has their veteran coach, and Kansas State does too. I can't believe Gary Patterson's still at TCU. That's unreal. And how the things he's done there, Gary Patterson, excuse me. The things Gary Patterson have done there is phenomenal. Rose Bowl victory. They've been in very good bowl games. Last year they were in a December 27th bowl. I think they're going to beat Kansas State, but this will be a very close game. I won't be surprised if it is. So, yep, TCU will get this one. Keep scrolling for the list. Minnesota will definitely beat Rutgers. That's not a surprise there. 28.5. That ain't a surprise. Indiana, Maryland spread's not out yet, but that's at 2:30 on Big Ten. Duke, Virginia. I did mention Virginia. Now they're out of the top 25 after getting definitely upset to Miami. That's on the ACC network at 2:30. We'll take Virginia to recover there over that loss, and they'll beat Duke. October 19th at 2:30, Temple and SMU. This is the SEC game of the week, actually. LSU and Mississippi State. I don't see Mississippi Stadium being close, so there's really no game of the week in my mind for the SEC till LSU Alabama. That's the November 9th weekend. I am so looking forward to that one. It might be 2 versus 1 if it stays that way, and LSU will definitely beat them. I'm not going to be surprised if they beat them by a ton. So, yep, there's no game of the week for the CBS lineup till then, in my opinion. Oregon, Washington. Wow, this will be an interesting game. Jake Browning's former school against Justin Herbert's Oregon Ducks. Oregon barely. I think they blew out. They had a blowout on Friday, so I think they'll beat Washington. But this is going to be a tough matchup because Washington, I think they're always projected to be tough at home, and I think that's gonna definitely come down to which defensive team wins, because I think both teams are very tough in this conference. And I think they're in the same spot of the conference as well. So Oregon and Washington is going to be a really good game. 21.5 favorites for Missouri. They'll beat Vanderbilt. Let's keep scrolling through the list here to save some time here. Kansas and Texas. Texas is favored by 22. They'll rebound the Oklahoma loss. That sucked that they didn't win that game. I wanted them to beat Oklahoma bad, but they'll rebound to beat Kansas. I think Kansas will cover the spread, but they'll definitely get the dubs there. Texas A&M and Ole Miss. This will be decent. We'll take Ole Miss. And then before I call it a day here, Michigan. I think Penn State will beat Michigan. I think it'll come down to a field goal, but Penn State will probably hit a long field goal to win. I mean, Shea Patterson did look good last week, but it comes down to our defense. If our defense can really excel, we will beat them. But I'm going to take Penn State just because our offense really hasn't been ready, and our defense really only played well against Middle Tennessee and Illinois. So we'll take them to cover that one. So just wanted to do a rundown, and tomorrow I'll probably pick the games on a Google Docs document. So I just wanted to give you guys a preview and do my first channel, and see you all next time on the MSports 1 and MSports Hub YouTube channel.